Hello, and welcome to the OS 2.0 video that took a while to actually get through. As you can see here, I went through a bit of different tests to try and find the most optimal installations. So yeah, so in this video we're going to go through the installation and everything. I actually did the installation already, and I actually fast forwarded it because no one wants to watch the installation literally is 20 minutes long. So I did a bunch of magical video editing, so you don't have to watch all that. I condensed it down to 2 minutes. So I wanted to go through everything in 2 minutes. So here we go. Let's go through it. So yeah, that's nice and fast. One thing to note is that if you choose the HPFS file system and with a virtual hard drive, it'll end up increasing that drive space to the full size of the actual underlying file. So if you do pre-allocate the whole entire file, for example, then it wouldn't really matter too much. Use HPFS, it should be fine. The other reason I also was choosing FAT originally as well as seen here is because I couldn't get the CD-ROM drives to work, which we'll get into in a bit later. The CD-ROM drive was a bit of a pain to get working, so I was thinking, well, maybe I'll do a dual boot system and show that in the video and how to copy files using dual boots. But here's how to get the CD-ROM working. So don't install all features, do select features and install. And then here, it says it's checked, right? Make sure this is checked, IBM CD-ROM device drivers. Make sure to go in there and check that. Even though that CD-ROM drivers is checked, this is never checked by default. So always make sure, go in there and check that. And then after that, hit the install when you have all the other options checked out, and it'll do the install with the proper CD-ROM drivers. And originally, I thought the IBM CD-ROM drivers were specifically for IBM specific CD-ROMs, but apparently it's needed just to make any CD-ROM driver work regardless of model, it seems. So I was going through like so many troubleshooting steps to try and get the CD-ROM drive working for all you guys, so it's been a headache. But yeah, once you get that going, you need the Trantor disk, which I'll put in the description, and then use the device, as you see there, use the device driver and choose the Trancore one there. And yeah, and this is just the rest of the regular install stuff, finding programs and everything. But yeah, so once the Trantor device driver is installed through that with the diskette, you should be fine, good to go. Here I didn't install any printer. But the Trantor SCSI driver will allow you access to the CD-ROM drive because OS 2.0 does not seem to support IDE CD-ROM drives very well. As far as I can see, I haven't found a way to get it working. The only way I got IDE CD-ROM drives working with it was through DOS. So you have to like redo a dual boot system, which is, as you can see, I was testing dual boots, I was testing SCSI throughout the past little while. I was doing a lot of tests. But now let's go to the actual overview of the OS, since I have an actual working installation right here for all you guys to check out. So let's go into the final version that actually does boot and everything works. This is basically a snapshot that's taken right after this installation is completed. So let's run it out. I can show you guys the actual thing here. Shouldn't take very long for it to boot. I have this running on a 166. So I'll also have the 86 box config linked to in the description. Oh yeah, this here. So these areas here, at first this is what caught me off guard with the system. I was like, what? This is confusing, because if you look at this error, it says it couldn't install the CDFS IFS. IFS is the installable file system, and CDFS is what a lot of CDs I think might still use. I guess I think they call it ISO FS nowadays on a lot of things, but back in the day they was calling CDFS. But this caught me off guard. I was like, what? But it still works though. Oddly enough, CDFS support still works, even though this error pops up. Then if you hit enter here, you'll notice another error with OS2 CD-ROM DMD not there, right? So you get two errors. So what we're going to do is we're going to exit out of the tutorial, unless you want. If you boot it up, go through it yourself. I'm not going to go through the tutorial in this video at all. Once you have it up, once you have your system up and running, go to here, and then I like doing it through edit, because I can't find, I don't know if there's a text-based editor for OS2 at all, but I found this is the best way of editing the config sys. So if you do, there is no edit.com. So if you actually want to get edit, see, this is the QBasic one, right? Which actually is QBasic and has all that stuff, but actually the secret command, some people don't know about, if you go QBasic/editor, now it's IBM DOS editor, right? Cool. And then now you can open the config sys. You can also do this technically too. So if I go QBasic like this /editor config sys, enter, you can also do that as well too. both of them work. Anyways, so in here we just need to find the IFS for CDFS. So we just go down. You can do I guess I can do a search, but so here's the IFS for this rem that out, and then also rem out the OS2 one down here as well for the CD-ROM. I know it seems counterintuitive to basically rem out OS2 CD-ROM and CDFS, but apparently that's how it works. Oh, apparently there's there's another CDFS down here. I wonder if that's the problem. Because last time I tested, okay, let's just try this. I didn't notice there was another CDFS down below there. It's just interesting. Okay, so after that we can exit and let's try doing a reboot here, and then we'll go through a demonstration afterwards. Oh, also, without doing those, the CD-ROM will appear as this. It'll appear like a disk, like a floppy disk. Oh, I didn't put the disk in I was going to show. But yeah, but it actually, I'll do it now. Actually, I'll put the image in that I actually want to show you guys here. That I'll be showing in the video. Okay. Yeah, so I'll show you it actually does work right now without all that. So let's go D is a floppy disk. As you can see, it works. So we have our CD-ROM here with a bunch of stuff, which I'll be going through a bit in this video. So well, let's do our reboot first, and just I want to show you that the other error messages are gone, so you don't have error messages when you load up. But also, what I noticed too is after removing the CDFS and the other options, I'm sure it's going to happen again when I reboot because it's so strange. Oh, there we go. But yeah, so the icon actually changes for the disk to a proper disk. You'll see in a few seconds. So we should see no errors this time around. So I guess CDFS is still technically loaded, but it's loaded in the other section. So I don't know. I guess when you do, the installer doesn't do stuff right, I guess. But now if we go into here and we go into here, oh, look at that. We got an actual disk now. And what I like to actually do is I like to make it easier. So I like to just copy, create a shadow, because when you see the line there, it creates a shadow by default. I'm not holding any keys down. These are just purely I'm using the right mouse button to drag it, and like that. So you can, I like dragging both of these down there just to make it convenient. And another convenience that I like to do, especially for this is like video, go to here. Oh, that's the DOS one. There we go. I clicked too fast. Okay, so this file here. So if you just copy it, that's actually a copy. What I want to do is I actually want to create a proper. So if you hold down the Shift and Control keys, it'll create a shadow. So it's not copying it or moving it; it's just creating a shadow. You could also use what I also like doing too, especially as a long-term system, is to use the templates. And you can actually just use a program and application, which I'll actually show in a few seconds actually as well, because I actually wouldn't mind showing that anyways. So we'll go into here and yeah, this is like not even full screen, but anyways, this one I'll go through this. This is a Hobbes CD, which I will link in the description, which gives you access to tons of fun OS2 software. Like I've been going through this and just having fun, just experiencing lots of old school software. So 16-bit is for like prior to 2.0. So if you want like text-based stuff, and some GUI programs are in here, and then 32-bit software is all stuff for this version of OS2 and newer. And then of course you have stuff for you do have older stuff for OS2 1 in here as well, and then OS2 2.1, which I guess we'll get to in a future video, and same with Warp. There's also Warp stuff as well. It also comes with a lot of icons, which is one thing I do want to show how to use, because it took me a second to figure out the best way to actually use the icons. But I did also find there's a cool program apparently I think it's in miscellaneous maybe. There's like a program in here somewhere that allows you to actually drag in. I haven't tested it, but maybe in future videos, if there's enough likes on this video, enough comments, and people wanted me to go through Hobbes, I will go through Hobbes. Like there's a lot of fun things I want to show in this, and I've been also testing DOS programs. I have another disk with a bunch of old DOS games, like shareware stuff, and I've been testing that out to see how those run. And I found some pretty fun programs actually, like things I haven't seen before, and I would love to show in videos. So if you guys are interested, let me know, and I'll create videos of lots of retro software running in here on various versions of OS2 and that, because it's interesting to see some of these things. At least I thought it was interesting. So if you guys are interested, let me know. I'll get those videos created for you guys. But yeah, anyways, Miscellaneous Utilities has a program here. Don't worry, I don't want to go through all this. I don't want to take time and just scroll through all this, but just take a look. One tool I do want to mention though, and I know where it is under System Utilities. a very cool tool that I found out. There's a few different boot programs you can get. If you look here, there's a bootable, right? There's this one here, but the one I found out that's actually really neat, if you go down, there's SE2 boot. And the S is right about to, where is it? There it is. Right here. Create OS2 boot disks from IBM. It's from IBM too. So if you click this, I don't want to go into there. We'll do this, do that, inflating, and we'll exit. Here. Okay, and go to C drive here, and then we go to SE2 boot. And so you'd run this program ideally from the command line. If you run it from here, it'll just create a disk, which I'll explain in a few seconds what the differences are. And you'll actually have some videos I'll cut through in a few seconds that actually explains what each one is. So there's the minimal image. As the basic OS2 v2 system that supports single OS2 full screen sessions. It doesn't even support DOS, but none of these support DOS, by the way. So if you're going to use any of these rescue images to run DOS programs, you can't. And even running some OS2 programs is tricky, as I found. So as you, in the cuts that I make on this, so you'll see I'll be cutting in a few minutes. You'll see minimal boot up and how that is, and quick demonstration of the minimal image that you can create using the SE2 boot. So unlike regular system disks you might get with MS-DOS when you create the sys, when you use like the sys command and everything, this is what you get with this one. It creates this kind of directory structure here. So this is what you get in the image. So it doesn't really give you too much. You still have there's like 60 kilobytes left, but there's like no programs besides, as you can see, cmd.exe. But it does give you a rescue environment for your system, as you can see, so you can still access your other stuff. You try running a GUI program, you'll get a message, of course. You'll get error messages. So, but yeah, that's this is the minimal boot, which is very unuseful unless you have unless you actually have a small text editor. I think in the README file, the author does mention there's an editor called Q, but I don't think it's on the Hobbes disks. So, anyways, that's the demonstration of the minimal system disk. And then we have the PM one here, which is the presentation manager. This does not include workplace shell, so this includes just presentation manager, nothing else. So it's very bare bones. Still, once again, no programs. It cannot run off a floppy disk. This requires, as it says here, 5.6 megabytes of disk space, and seems basically useless to me unless you actually have it as a second partition. So I feel like the only ways to possibly use some of these would be to actually use Boot Manager and put them as separate partitions as a rescue partition, which I might look into in the future to see how I can do it. So if you're curious about that kind of video and want to see how to create a specialized rescue partitions with these systems, let me know. I will do that. I can do that as well too. And here's a demonstration of the PM only mode you get, which also isn't very useful. It doesn't really give you as much information as you could use, but this is what it gives you. It just gives you a basic window like this. But it's funny that when you minimize, it's like really looks like Windows 3.1. Like it really gives off the Windows 3.1 vibes. And yeah, so it doesn't really give you much at all in application wise. Like you don't have anything in here. Like you can at least maximize and minimize your windows, but otherwise you don't really have much in here at all. This is really lackluster. And if you exit, guess what happens? It just does this. Like I was able to run the editor before through here, so maybe I'll make a future video of showing that, but you have to actually if you have your OS2 partition loaded, you can do some stuff to basically run your GUI programs, but if you try still running GUI programs through this, it'll fail, which is what you'll see in the next video with the presentation manager one. And then we have the WPS image here, which is the one that has the full workplace shell, which is this whole GUI, the whole GUI system as well. So, and this is the video of the WPS one. So this is the rescue image that includes all of workplace shell and not just the terminal, as with the PM only one. So. And this error message pops up all the time. It doesn't even tell you what file. It just says 00. Like, so I'm guessing the image isn't being built correctly. I always press OK. I never press cancel, so I have no idea even what it's really weird. The fonts obviously aren't the same. Like, it doesn't even copy all the fonts. So it's very interesting. I did make the system editor from the other disk work, but this is I don't have the OS2 partition in this system right now. But if you do this and create system editor, you can actually you will be able to actually open up files and do edits and that if you actually load System Editor from from your actual working drive. But yeah, so it gives you all the basics you expect from a rescue thing. All the plus all the full workplace shell access, so it's kind of neat. So as you can see, very basic minimum, very bare minimum system. I tried to copy the editor and fdisk. If you run this, it'll like really break. Or oh, didn't even run. So I thought I did run that at one point. Yeah, I guess I didn't. Yeah. Anyways, but yeah. So oh, this one they crashed it. No, maybe not. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Anyways, but yeah, so I'm still trying to figure out how to get possibly the GUI tools working without actually having the other system mounted. So there's probably this. I'm going to see if I can get that ever going. If I ever do, then look forward to a new potential video on this channel with that. But yeah, this is the workplace shell rescue image that's available in the SE2 boot. And they're pretty easy. Pretty easy to make the images. To make the the PM or WPS, you have to run it from the actual command line. And source you don't really need. I never use source, so what I type in to create these, I just type in SE2 boot. I did target as D because I created a new disk and put it in the system, and then targeted as D, and then type equals whatever one I wanted, and it worked. It copied all the files. It'll end up copying the files from the install disk. That's why I don't choose source, because unless you copy to your hard disk first, which I didn't bother doing, it's just so much simpler just to do this without the source. Then it just asks you for your two first disks, the install disk and the disk one, and then it'll just go on its merry old way and create everything. But this program is really neat. So I wanted to point out that I use this program on the Hobbes disk. And the next thing I want to point out too in this video here is also how to create a proper icon for it, for example. So what we're going to do is we're going to go here and we're going to use the program template. We're going to copy this over to here like that. And then we're going to go d:/OS2. The find button is horrible. Don't use it unless you really have to. It's just, this is like the worst implementation of anything I've seen like this. So anyway, so we're going to do that. And then if you go session, it should, we can go full screen here because it detected as OS2 program right away. We'll go full screen to make it nicer. And then you notice the, I like the touches there. Look at the icon change. Right? That's neat. I like that. That's like that's attention to detail that I wouldn't expect from like IBM. Like, and then the association I don't care about, but the general is what we care about. In general, we have the name, which we'll call Hobbes. All right, and then we have the icon here. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab an icon. So this is part it was kind of tricky for me to actually get going originally. So what we got to do is we got to go here, we go icons, and we're actually gonna grab an actual Hobbes icon too. So we're going to go into, where is H for Hobbes? And you got to wait for it to load, and it takes a second for it to load it all. And scroll down, and we should see Hobbes. There's Hobbes. I like cool Hobbes. Let's go with cool Hobbes. So you right click it. What you have to do, I never try to double click it because it says it opens up an icon. I just probably just go with the association one, so I just click that usually, but you can try double clicking it and see. Oh, right, I forgot about that. It can't even open it because of the temp directory, so we'll have to fix that first. So unfortunately, we'll have to reboot. So I forgot about that. I forgot about that other steps. So we'll close this out. So now it's saved. We'll double click it, just make sure it works actually first. It launches. Okay, but what we're going to need to do is we're actually going to need to update the config sys file actually to do that. So we're going to go here, DOS full screen again, mkdir temp basic / editor config sys. It's weird actually putting like something like this in here. I tend to put it just underneath here. So set temp equals / temp like that. Save, exit, and then we just gotta do a shutdown and reboot it quickly. And then once that, I don't know why that's not set by default, to be honest. Like on Windows by default sets a temp directory, but for some reason on OS2 you don't have one unless you set it yourself. And some programs don't work unless you have it set. But whatever. Okay, so now we'll be able to go into here, and then we go into icons, and once again go to H, and go down and find cool Hobbes. There it is. Click open editor. Now it'll actually open up. See? And then what I end up doing, and I end up using, because look at this is not normal. Like Control A, it's different. So I use the menu because it's just confusing. Select all, and then do a copy. And then next, you can right click, go here, go to settings, and then general, and do an edit. And then I'm sure there's a better way of doing this. So if anyone that has used OS 2 in the past knows how to better do this, let me know. Huh? Oh crap! OS 2 is so bad. It crashed. Occasionally, you'll get it breaking so badly like this, where it just totally dies out. It's like like it's so unstable. It's so unstable. It's just ridiculous. It's very I think when I was doing that yesterday, it worked just fine, but then today it doesn't. It's so random sometimes. I think the next versions of OS 2 are definitely more stable than 2.0, but it's aggravating. I mean, that's why I'm glad I'm running it on a 166, because it would take a lot longer to probably launch if I didn't. And it should relaunch the whole session too. So I don't think. Can I click? Oh no, it already broke. Oh God. Okay, let's try this again. Select all. Copy. Go here. General. Edit. Paste. Save. Save. Ha! Got it. And I changed it 13 right away. Good. Awesome. There we go. We got it. The good thing about it is that as long as you just control delete at the right time, you generally the system doesn't get corrupted. So knock on wood. I don't know for sure. Like I never experienced file system corruption, but when you shut it down, just make sure there's no hard drive activity when you do your control delete, and you should generally be fine. Because I don't think it uses like any caching or anything like that, like modern OSs do. But yeah, now we have a Hobbes icon. Now if you double click Hobbes, you can actually access all the programs now. Right off the disk from an icon, and he's all in the end. Yeah, as you noticed before with the other program there, it extracts right to the C drive there. So yeah, so that's the Hobbes there. And the rest of the, so I wanted to go through a bit of the rest of the system just to kind of show off the rest of the stuff, because I want to make this video at least, it's going on to 20-ish minutes if I don't do editing. Okay, let's continue. Okay, so it does come with a bunch of productivity apps. Like I was going through some of these yesterday. These are pretty interesting to say the least. Like some of them are like, this is the most like the database, for example, is really, I don't know how to use it. Like it's like card file, I think. I don't know. I have no way. I looked at this and went, how am I supposed to demonstrate this in a video? Like, what is this? Like, what is this supposed to be? Like, there's no, oh yeah, and the funny thing is I tried to see what it is, right? So you go to help index. The only thing that makes it sound like card file to me was this right here, dialing from database. Like that's what card file was for in Windows, right? It was for this purpose of being able to write numbers and stuff and then do a dial, right? That's what it was for. So, but this also has archiving. So I'm thinking if I archive stuff, it might appear in here. Like there's no information. Like it's so like it's so funny, and the spreadsheet is just so bizarre. Like I've never seen a spreadsheet like this before. Like it's just so strange. And then the sticky pad is probably the coolest, actually. The sticky pad, I do appreciate how they did it. Like, it's neat. So here's how the sticky pad works. So this is a sticky note, right? Now, if you want to keep that note in your desktop, watch. This is really, I really like this. This is a really cool touch. If you drag the title bar like this, look at that. That's just like, that's cool. Like no program even now does something like that. That's so neat. It actually feels like a legitimate sticky pad. That is so cool. Like this is the one thing I actually like. Like IBM did something really neat here. This is neat. I like this. This is really cool. And of course, if you hide this, you can keep it all running on your desktop. And of course, you can just hide those like that. And you can even see the sticky notes here. So you have all these little things around. Can I move it? No? Weird. They just kind of just stay there? Okay, and we'll have to look and see how to move these things because they don't really move at all. That's interesting. Yeah. But yeah, so you have all the sticky notes, and of course you have some. But yeah, that's the sticky note system. And if you close these, I do believe it'll, yeah, so if you, it'll actually remove all the notes. But if you close the program itself, it'll close all of those. But no, it still says running, apparently. Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, it's a neat little sticky note program. I thought so. I thought I'd show this one off for sure because I just thought it was really interesting. Like you don't see that kind of sticky note before. Let's see what these is. Yeah, it's like calendar from. It's like basically the calendar program. Who even uses like this kind of number? Like this is. I don't even know what that number even means to be honest. Like, but yeah, so it's like the Windows 3.1 calendar program, except it's just not as pretty. I guess it's not as good. So that's that. Clipboard viewer is just your clipboard viewer, which works just same. If you open it once, it just minimizes by default. If you open it a second time, you'll see the Hobbes down there. Got copied, right? And planner archive, daily planners, not activities. This is another, like there's some interesting productivity tools. Once I get to OS 2.3, you'll be seeing the IBM Works version of these. So those are more enhanced and slightly better. Like it's interesting how they have them all as separate programs, like all of these planners and to-do lists. Like it's interesting how they have these. Like look at the font. Like it looks so, it's so interesting the way these programs are made. Like it's just something else. Like I don't know. It doesn't seem like, what's the calculator look like? How interesting. Not even buttons. Like they don't even use proper buttons. It looks like it's interesting. Interesting. And the notepad is just your, oh, this is the card. This looks like card file. Okay. Looks basically like card file. And I think I open up calendar. Oh, calendar, yeah, basic calendar, right? And your alarms, which is just that. Yeah. Yes, continue. Yeah. So that's those are all the productivity apps right there. And then of course under games you have just a general OS2 chess, which Michael MDG showed on his video of OS2, which hasn't changed since his version of OS2 that he showed. So that works. Jigsaw is not even, I don't think it's on new ones, but you have to have images. Oh, I guess there is an image. And then it's a jigsaw puzzle. I think you have to press jumble, right? So yeah, I'm not going to do jigsaw right now. And jigsaw. And then you have cat and mouse. I remember seeing this when I was a kid on a worker's PC when I was growing up. I was in foster care, so I remember seeing one of my CFS workers had this, and I thought it was the cutest thing ever. It was copied onto other OSs. I think it's called Nico on Windows and Nico on Linux. It just chases your mouse. It's so cute. Hey, go around Hobbes. I wonder if there's a way you can change it to be Hobbes running around the screen like that. Anyways, but yeah, you can hide it and whatever. But yeah, I remember seeing that when I was growing up. Scramble. This is just basically a simple scramble game where you move your pieces like, Reversi, which is just, actually it looks exactly like the Windows 3.0 Reversi. Is it 3.0 Reversi? I wonder, almost similar. It doesn't. Oh, well, yep. Microsoft's copyrights here. So this is technically ported from Windows to OS 2, I think. That's what this is. And then of course, this is definitely not Microsoft's version of Solitaire. It looks totally different than Microsoft's Solitaire they eventually created. They created their own version for. I don't know why they didn't just port this one. Was Microsoft involved in this, I wonder? Nope, no Microsoft in the copyright here. The Reversi is, so that's funny. The Reversi actually is from 3.0, and those are just the games. And that, other than that, oh yeah, you have you also have in this version you have the full Win3.1 thing. So I was going to demonstrate some applications, but right now the video is getting to 24 minutes long, so I don't want to keep everyone forever here. So I wanted to just go through an overview of just what it has and let people know how to get it installed efficiently, or they can end up using it themselves and that. So also, one thing I should also note too is in the mouse section, if you don't like because in order to drag icons around, you have to use the right mouse button, which for some people it's the only OS in the world that does that. So they might not be too comfortable. If you go in the mouse options, there actually is a option to fix it, I believe, under here, dragging options. It's like they give a lot of options in here, surprisingly. Like so many, like you can do so much. Like all the options they give is like just like it's interesting how much options you get in this. And it crashed. That's one thing you have to be careful about, is that it's very susceptible to crashing. But maybe that's a sign. Maybe that's the end of this video here. So yeah, if you like this video, definitely like and subscribe, and look forward to the OS 2 2.1 OS 2.3, and OS 2.4 coming out very, very shortly, I'm hoping. So this video took a lot longer than expected because trying to figure out the best optimal installation for people to use an 86 box was a bit of a pain. So all this is an 86 box. I will have links below to the Trantor ISO. Trantor is in the Hobbes disk. That's where I found it. But and I'll leave a link to where you'd find the Hobbes disk as well. That's just on archive.org, so I'll leave a link to that so you can find it where you get all this OS2 software. And I don't think people want to download all that if they don't want to for just Trantor, for example, if they want to just get their SCSI drive working with their CD-ROM drive. So I'll have a link to the Trantor drivers as a disk file, so you can just use it in 86 box and enable the Trantor SCSI drivers, which will in turn enable your CD-ROM drive to actually work in OS2 2.0, where you can actually install software, because installing software without a working CD-ROM drive and an emulator is painful. So hopefully this video helps anybody get up and running with OS 2.0 with as little headaches as possible, and I'll have links below to everything you guys need. Anyways, have yourself a wonderful day.
Ah, crap!
I don't have any documents. I do have a lot of software that I can hear. How do I copy that?
Okay, well, you then on the floppy disk that those programs came on.
Some I do, some I don't.
How do you have software without the disk?
Because after I bought the programs, in some cases I thought after I